Hey guys, so we're going to do a series of St. Patrick's Day DIYs because it's coming up in a month and I know we all like to dress up, whether you're going out with your friends, going to work, or taking them to school to wear so that you don't get pinched during the day. So the first DIY I'm going to do is on the duct tape clovers that I made. And the fun part about this DIY is that they're going to be part of different DIYs that I'll be doing later in the month. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's go ahead and go straight to the DIY. For this DIY, you're going to need some white and green duct tape. You're also going to need a cutting board, a black Sharpie, an X-Acto knife, a pair of scissors, and a printout of clovers, whether you want 4-leaf or 3-leaf. So we're going to move our X-Acto knife and marker out of the way, and we're going to take our scissors and we're going to start cutting out our 4-leaf clover and our 3-leaf clover. Now I found these images up on Google just by doing Google search and typing in clover coloring pages, and then I copied them over into Paint and I made them my personal preference desired size. You can make them bigger, smaller. It's all about your personal preference. And then now I'm basically just cutting them out down to shape so that I can use them to trace onto my duct tape. Now this project here, I'm just showing you how to make the 4-leaf clovers out of the duct tape. And then later on I can show you what I personally did to them. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. If you make them smaller, you can always turn them into earrings. You can turn it into a fun necklace for your kids, for a school, because I know everybody wants to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. So it's just kind of a fun project that you can do with your kids, or just something simple for you to wear for work. Okay, so now that those cutouts are ready, I'm going to take my green duct tape and I'm going to measure it out, and I'm going to take my clover cutouts and make sure that it fits, and then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut everything down to size. Now how big your duct tape is will depend on how big you want your clovers to be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my white duct tape and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm doing 4 pieces of each because I'm going to need to double up on them because of the size of my clovers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one side green on one, the other side white. And you can see where I'm doubling up on it now. And then I'm double checking with my clovers to make sure that it's going to be the right size. So I did one side green and one side white on that one. And then on the second one, I'm going to make it half green, half white, so that you kind of get a patterned effect where half of it's going to be one color, the other half of it's going to be another color. So you can see how I did it. I put green on opposite sides of each side, and then I decided to make this particular one my 3-leaf clover. So I'm just going to kind of measure it, see how I want it to look, just to see if I want the green in a particular way. So once you have it the way you like it, you definitely want to flip it over to trace it on the opposite side. So now that I've kind of figured out how I want it to be, I'm going to take my black Sharpie and I'm going to just start tracing around those lines that I cut out. You do have to be careful because the paper does tend to move, just like if you're tracing anything, and you might have to reposition it. But the best part is, even if you make the slightest mistake, it's your own creativity. Nobody's going to know better. So I decided to make my full green one, the 4-leaf clover, and I'm drawing it on the white side because the white side is going to be the side that nobody sees, so that when there's some black left over, nobody's going to really see it. So now that my tracing is done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to start cutting out along those lines that I made. Now I did have a little bit of issues with one corner of my 4-leaf clover. I did have to cut it a couple of times to get it the way I wanted it. But like I said, it's all about personal preference. And that's one of the best things, is your clover might look different from mine because you might want both sides to be green for whatever you're wanting to do. Or maybe you don't want it to look exactly the same way mine does. It's all about personal preference and what you want to do. So you can see where I'm just sitting here cutting it out, and once I'm done, you can see where one side is white, and that's the side with all the trace marks on it, and then the green side, all you see is a pretty 4-leaf clover. So we're going to do the same thing with the other clover. And this one I didn't realize until after I had already traced it and cut it, that because of how I did tape it together, the side that ended up looking the best was the one that did have the trace marks on it. So that does make it a little bit difficult for me later on down the road, but it doesn't look too bad. Like, the trace marks don't look horrible. So there's your up close picture, and I hope you guys enjoy and make your own. So I hope you guys enjoyed that DIY, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can see the ones that are coming up later in the month for what I'm going to do with those 4-leaf clovers. Make sure to like me on Facebook so that you can see all different kinds of updates and pictures of sneak peeks at upcoming videos. Make sure to check out my Etsy shop because you never know what's going to end up on there. So I'll leave all the information in the drop down box below. Leave me a comment if there's any specific DIYs you want to see later on. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.